You want to end this Trump conversation once and for all? You all get behind Nikki Haley, because that's how you do it. You beat Trump on the ballot box. I mean, that's it. You got to participate.
Bruh, really? What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I'm Van. We are all the LFR family. Thank you so much for clicking play. Hopefully you click the like button as well. We got a good one here for you. We got Killer Mike on the Bill Maher show. Now, this was 2 weeks ago, and yes, I'm usually late, but so what? We still have great conversations. Y'all feel free to let me know whatever y'all want me to know, and trust me, I'm going to let y'all know whatever I want you to know. Let's go.
All right. He's an entrepreneur and musician. His self-titled solo, Michael, was recently released. Up for 3 Grammys Sunday. Killer Mike is with us, Mike Render. And he's the Republican governor of New Hampshire, Governor Chris Sununu, and she's the host of The Five on Fox News, Jessica Tarlov. That's our panel that we just had. So would you like to comment on my editorial that I just did about how there's a lot of materialism in music these days, and maybe it's not great for the kids?
I think there's materialism in American society, period. We're just, musicians and artists a lot of times, in terms of when art becomes commerce, it's just a reflection of where society is. When you were talking about, you know, it used to be a lot of homophobia in there. And homosexuals buy music. And at a certain point, the people who make music was like, it's not cool to keep saying this shit because they got better buying power than just the guys who are mad at home. And what you see now is the people on top of the charts are the Kendrick Lamars, the Drakes, the J. Coles, because society, what is it? Huey said, it's not the vanguard that moves the people, it's not the leadership, it's when the people are ready to move. So I think that, when I have arguments with Anaya, my 26-year-old daughter, I know that there's a change coming because of the way she views the world. So I think musicians and artists for commerce are going to adjust. But when it comes to money, we have an infatuation with money in this country. You know, so much to the point we went and kidnapped a bunch of people 400 years ago, made them work for free, and said, boom, greatest nation in the world. So, you know, right. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month.
It's like a relationship fight. You never let it go.
No, you can't. I'll tell you this. Speaking of money, you want to let it go. Prepare a reparations package for Black people in this country. For people, and I'll tell you this. The leader of the Fed said something.
Didn't I buy dinner last time?
Yeah, you did. You did. Yeah, and the restaurant was pretty
that does not count?
You did. You offered to marry my wife if I died early,
Absolutely.
Too, so. But I do think this country could benefit from a reparations package that included cash, that included reversal of redlining by helping Black people be homeowners, understand credit, and understand Americans that if the Black community has more money, this country has more money.
We have been teaching people how to grow online. It's been absolutely amazing. We have 3 people who have been able to reach monetization in less than 30 days. Growing YouTube channels, some from 0 people. We have one guy who had 2 subscribers before he started working with me. He started helping him. His views went up 4.8 million%. We're super excited. If anybody ever want to grow on YouTube, you reach out to me with the word coach.
Yeah, and we need to start seeing ourselves in a relationship.
Right. As long as we have the topic on the table, what do you think about that? Reparations.
Vivek Ramaswamy just texted me his Taylor Swift playlist. I haven't been paying attention, so I'll pass.
Wait, you're dodging this question?
I'll dodge out. Really? In terms of what, reparations?
Reparations. Sending out a check.
Someone's got to pay. No, I'm not for reparations. I'm not for that at all. At the end of the day, this country owes $34 trillion, and the government doesn't owe that money. You all owe that money.
And also,
don't be fooled. The money's got to come from somewhere.
There's a difference between collective guilt and individual.
Why don't you feel guilty? No,
I don't.
Yeah,
because I didn't do it.
I think more Black conservatives, but you benefited from it. You benefited from it, and you still benefit from it.
Yes, that's true too.
That's my thing is just help spread the benefits.
But you know, there are reparations that do go on in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't say absolutely just give me a few $1 million and I'm fine. No, I think that trade and higher level education, I do think a cash payout. I think that there should be a mortgage forgiveness. I think that we should have an incentive to incentivize Black wealth in this country. Robert Smith, Black billionaire, had an interesting conversation where he wanted to tax corporations 2% of wealth. Imagine what 2% of multi-billion-dollar companies does for black society. What it does is it creates a place where it's not perfect, but Atlanta black people have opportunity. And if you talk to Governor Brian Kemp in Georgia, we also have a Republican governor who I have a relationship with. For the last 10 years, we've been #1 in business. We've created over 60,000 jobs and have more jobs coming. I would challenge you to help put together a reparations package that made the rest of America look more like the opportunity.
Well, he's from New Hampshire. That's not going to happen.
Well, but if I may, Lord knows I didn't want to get into a reparations discussion.
It would cost you hundreds of dollars up there.
And then you got again, what about the Native Americans who are, you got to go down the list. And when we're done with the reparations package this year, what about
you don't hear black people arguing against reparations for anyone. We've never argued against reservations. We've never argued against any payouts for people America's wrong. We're simply saying, while we're at the table, let's do something to aid the people that until 60 years ago lived in apartheid.
Okay, but like
60 years is not very long.
That's using as a crutch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think black people need reparations. I think we do need financial education, financial literacy. I do think we need to make sure we teach these things in our communities and amongst ourselves, and we hold one another accountable as well. As a community, we hold each one in the community accountable. We stop celebrating all of the nonsense that's happening in our communities and in our music and in our culture that we celebrate currently. As long as we're continuing to celebrate the things that we celebrate, it's going to be pointless. Like, you're giving somebody hundreds of thousands of dollars in reparations. What they're going to go do with it? Exactly what we've been doing with every bit of extra money we get. We blow it. We blow it. We don't know what to do with it. When people don't work for something, they treat it like they didn't work for it. They treat it like it was free money. They treat it like it was free property. Like anyone who's living on free property right now, y'all see how they treat that property, right? People who rent and live in apartment complexes and whatnot, go look at those neighborhoods versus looking at neighborhoods where people are paying mortgages and have earned the monies to pay for where they stay right now. They take care of their neighborhoods. They take care of them, and they make sure that they uphold the law. And if there is no law in their neighborhood, then they become the law because they appreciate everything that they worked for, and it becomes a collective. So I'm not with that. I do see where he's coming from. 1000% see where he's coming from. But the fact that he brought up the Native Americans, that was a great point. But then when black people hear that, we're like, okay, we're not going to jump into whataboutisms. Let's not jump into whataboutisms. Well, we have to, because if we're talking about people building up a country on our backs and, in the form of slavery, and we're not being paid anything, then yes, those people should be squared away. They should definitely receive their 40 acres and a mule. Those people who were involved in that, most certainly, they should be squared away by the people who were involved in that. But if you have a country right now who's underwater by trillions of dollars, and you're saying, give us our fair share of those monies, regardless of if we're backed up in funds, that's going to do nothing but ruin the country and ruin black culture at the same time. But we want to say we're willing to take that chance because y'all owe us money. Give it to us. It's a conversation to be had, obviously. And I don't just poo-poo it. I would love for this conversation to continue to move forward because we learn a lot about one another. As long as we don't continue to play the blame game, play the victimization game, and understand that there's a bunch of opportunities out there for us to take advantage of. And all we got to do is grab those opportunities and run. But a lot of times we don't grab those opportunities because we're waiting for somebody to give us something. We're waiting for something to be handed to us. But then as soon as something is handed to us, just like with anyone else, we don't appreciate it and we destroy it. So there's nothing that shows me in black culture that we will be able to take care of the monies if handed to us in big amounts that, okay, this is for reparations. Here, take this money and do with it as you will. Please. We would kill ourselves. We would destroy ourselves even faster because money is what's ruining us right now. If you think about it, as soon as we get a piece of a dollar, we got something, some rich Italian name on our back, on our legs, on our feet. We're driving some huge Italian name or some exotic name. We're driving it even in our rundown neighborhoods because we don't care about those things. We just want to show this and show that. The individuals that do know what to do with it, unfortunately, you're wrapped up in everything that you're trying to save because you also support this rundown culture that we're living in, if that makes any sense. It might not, but that's cool. I rarely make sense.
With Native Americans, we gave them the casino industry.
Yeah.
What about, supermarkets?
Could black people have the marijuana industry?
Well, I'm something like that.
Could we look at his face? Would you give us like that's what I'm saying. Give us marijuana, multi-billion-dollar industry. It's still fresh. It's still growing. Why doesn't Killer Mike have a marijuana license in Georgia?
I'm out of the business.
Will you call Brian Kemp for me?
I'll call Brian right now. I don't know how the discussion's going to go. Brian's a great friend, but...
If you're going to buy marijuana, I would suggest you do it at the Woods, which is the great pot shop here in L.A., which I'm a part owner of with Woody Harrelson. Okay, what do you think of the news that NASA says the moon is shrinking? Biden. Right? Am I right?
Thank you. But finally.
Yeah.
Finally, someone's talking some sense.
Was perfectly fine under Trump. And now...
I was excited that I didn't have to do the reparations question and then got the moon question, which could be more complicated. Doesn't that go in your headlines that shouldn't exist bucket?
It really should. I mean, but apparently, I read this too in USA Today. Apparently, the moon, because the core is cooling or something.
It's our fault.
I'm sorry, why does it matter?
It doesn't.
Okay.
I know, but it's funny because you really could do a whole sketch about that because we are so blame happy in this country. Somebody has to take. I think the moon's on Ozempic, and that's the whole thing. All right. What do you think about...
In my opinion, the last thing we need is the marijuana industry. That's just me. I think people who have marijuana, and you're saying, let the black people run the marijuana industry. Okay, we will have $1 billion industry, potentially $1 trillion industry very soon from selling weed. How much of that are we selling to our own people? Black people. How much marijuana is currently helping us move forward in the world and in life? Is marijuana one of the things that's helping black people move forward? If it's not, then why do we want it? Why do we want to control it? Only because of how much money it makes. So again, we're not thinking about the right things. But if you can tell me that marijuana is helping us move forward, then I will have a better understanding. But to me, it just sounds like a money grab. It's like we want to be able to control something that's equally detrimental to our community and our culture. Because every single time we listen to a song about smoking weed and this, that, and the other, or getting a high. Listen, that's part of the problem right now. My big brother and I, we had the opportunity of going to schools. Going to a high school, and speaking in a couple of classes over last week. And drugs was the number one issue. The number one issue. Not the number one issue. Anxiety and depression was the number one issue, but how they fixed it was through drugs. And the drugs are completely messing these kids up. So why is it that we want to control this? Why do we want to be able to man this shit? I don't understand that. But I'm just thinking that because it's a money grab and it's making a whole lot of money and we want to be able to control something, anything, just give us something to control, give us something. I think right now we're doing well in finding our own lanes, figuring it out by ourselves and working together. And that's another thing. We got to make sure that we're working together whenever we come up with something that lucrative that could continue to finance certain things in the community.
Conservatives in Texas are talking about Texas. Well, this happens like every 2 years. This is Texas seceding. Oh. They love to talk about it. It started out as its own country, right? For a while, Texas was its own country.
We just had a bill in New Hampshire. We get it almost every 2 years. Someone wants to.
But Nikki Haley, your girl, said she doesn't think that's illegal. Come on, she doesn't know why the Civil War happened, and she doesn't get that secession is illegal?
Yeah, look, I'm not advocating for anyone to see. I don't think Nikki's advocating for any of that.
No, but she said she didn't think it was illegal, and it is illegal. You can't secede from the Union. That's like number one.
Yeah,
like we're the United States. But
I think everybody understands that's where we need to be, and that's what we need to fight.
But Nikki Haley needs a bit of a history lesson. I mean,
that's broader than the secession issue.
Yeah. What?
I mean, that's broader than the secession issue. If we go back to the whole slavery.
I know. I'm saying she seems to have skipped grades. I don't know. Some of them.
Look. Yeah. You want to end this Trump conversation once and for all? You all get behind Nikki Haley, because that's how you do it. You beat Trump in the ballot box. I mean, that's it. Look, politics is not a spectator sport, people. You got to get involved. You got to vote. You got to participate.
Bruh, really? You're a fool for saying that. I think that's foolish, man. Nikki Haley is would not be a better president than Trump. What are you talking about? If you want to beat Trump at the ballot box, then get behind Nikki Haley. BS, man. I don't even know why he said that. That's crazy.
They could vote for Joe Biden, though. That's available.
But according to the polls, they won't.
That's not true.
Nikki Haley beats Biden by 10, 15 points. According to the polls, they're not going to vote for Biden against Trump.
Everybody stop yelling.
But the moon is shrinking, Bill.
The moon is shrinking. I'm shrinking now. Okay, Jessica, how damaging could a potential no labels presidential ticket be for Joe Biden? So this is an official third party now, no labels. Who is this?
A bunch of grifters.
Joe Manchin. It says, what do you make of rumors Joe Manchin will be their candidate? Oh, exciting.
Well, I'll start by saying the no labels folks are grifters, and everyone should know that they're just trying to...
Grifters?
Grifters.
Right.
Yes.
You don't think they're sincere?
I think they're sincere like 40 minutes a day, and then I think the rest of it is just an attempt to get people who feel disenfranchised, like they're looking around, they're like, they're two 80-year-old guys, I don't like either of them.
Right.
Give me more money, give me more money.
Right.
And they don't really care what the outcome is, and they justify it by saying, you know, well, it's gonna suck either way.
Wow.
But apparently, the top polling no labels ticket is Nikki Haley as president and Joe Manchin as VP. I happen to think, and Joe Manchin is not my favorite Democrat, though he voted with us all the time, and I'm thankful for having someone in West Virginia. I don't think he would do something like that because it would just destroy an entire legacy that he's had. But they do take more support from Trump than they do from Biden. It's the same with like RFK Jr. If he were able to get on more than half a ballot or something like that.
Okay, Elon Musk announced his company Neuralink. Oh, this is a pretty big story. Successfully implanted the first microchip in a human's brain. Is this a good thing? Yes, I think it is, because, I mean, this is, if you haven't read the story, the ability to actually do things just by thinking about it for people who don't have the use of their limbs. And this is, you know, look, I can't stop liking Elon. He's a weird guy. He is.
Yeah.
And he does sometimes make it hard to defend him. Absolutely, I get that. But this is the promise of a guy like this. I mean, who else is doing this? I can't even imagine how this is done. Like I couldn't tell you how electricity happens, but I probably could find out.
It's a short Wikipedia.
But like, how do you get it so like just by thinking about it, you change the channel? Don't. But that's pretty amazing. And I think it's going to, you know, there's lots of people who can benefit from this.
Totally. I'm sure it'll be used for evil at some point.
And that's the part. That's the part. I'm sure it'll be used for evil at some point. We already know how this thing goes. The same way people with good hearts and great minds want to do something with new technology and can't wait to use it for good. We got to consider the other side. Always consider the other side. And the other side have money too. They have money, they have resources, and usually the bad guy destroys a whole bunch of people before they get caught. If they get caught. If they are caught. And then another thing, the people that usually control the laws and everything that goes on, they're usually the bad guys. The politicians are, in a lot of cases, the bad guys. I'm sure it can be used negatively. Don't let people plant no chip in your mind. None of that. Don't let nobody put no chips in your head or any of that. Read the Bible. It's already been written that these type of things are happening. Now, I do realize that Elon Musk is trying to do a good thing, and he should definitely help out people who need that help. If this is the last thing we can do to make your life a little better, then absolutely those people should get those things done. But what would eventually happen is those chips will be placed in people's minds, and it will more than likely be mandatory at some point. That's just what I think. That's just what I think, because almost everything that's developed for us to, I mean, as an option, it becomes mandatory. And I got an issue with that. I do. I have a serious issue with that. That's just me, man.
But for now, it's wonderful to give people
Anybody
the
Like all
chance.
things are married.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
You eventually use it for evil. That's what
Goes back to your
Or
money.
sex.
You gotta. Yep.
Sex is usually the first thing they'll find a way for a guy to jerk off, but just by. A recent study found a growing political divide between men and women, with younger women skewing much more liberal than men. This is not new, but I think it's just more prevalent. I think the number I saw was 30 points. That is a huge.
And that's the abortion issue, right?
That's a lot of.
As Republicans, we're losing young people, we're losing suburban moms, we're losing women, strictly on the abortion issue, and that's just terrible for the party.
I think it's abortion, it's guns, it's climate change, it's social justice.
And Trump. And the grabber.
It's Trump.
Bruh, see that right there? Bill Maher is doing his people a disservice by sticking with the jokes that work. The jokes that make your people smile. It's time for you to grow the hell up, bro. That's just me. Coming from a man that got 2 pigtails of locks. Yes, it's time for you to grow the hell up, Bill, because that's trash, man. Look at the numbers. Look at who was the most effective president, man. That's what's most important. But he's still talking about stuff that was mentioned while he was running for president, because he mentioned in the conversation before grabbing somebody by the and that's what you want to bring up? Come on, bro. This dude is trash sometimes. I think I'm sorry, he's not trash. I take that back. Some of you may think that. I don't think he's trash. I just think that he lacks knowledge on certain topics, and he reverts to comedy in order to make up for that void, just to fill the space, since this is his show and I can say whatever I want to say. And obviously my people are going to be right there with me, rooting me on to say more foolish things that I want to say. That's his thing. I can't tell him how to run his show. But I will say, I just think he's been childish. That's all. And they're trying to have an adult conversation. And he's just looking to make people smile, make people laugh, no matter how foolish he has to be. But he also has a responsibility. And he's not doing anybody a service by being this way and on this platform. He's not.
Who's like
Not with Trump. I don't know why you guys keep looking at me.
I know, but what's interesting, what you two have in common is that you both can't say, yeah, and of course, so I'm voting for Biden. You both can't do that.
I'll challenge you.
I just find that interesting.
He can't say, she can't say, you can't say, Biden can't say, and most white people won't say, I'll sit down and talk about black people, about real black issues from a place where I know I'm going to leave the table.
Different issue. I'm talking
about reparations.
I know you are.
Like, we don't want to talk about that. But when you say me and him are the same, we're the same. Besides that, we want to do. Like, how has Biden or Trump been good for my community?
That's
and I'm not saying they're the same.
At least you're.
But you got to meet me at my table, not just go have lunch with a black kid and think everything's okay.
At least you're engaging with the question now.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't clap. Don't clap.
I totally get that.
Don't clap.
Have neighborhoods really changed? I mean, I forget who I.
The last 3 years, worse. I mean, it's tougher.
Well,
neighborhoods and what's going on with crime, with public safety, with all of this, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And both parties are to blame. Let's not make any.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you live in a neighborhood and you see administrations change and nothing else changes, that I totally get that. Why you would go, what's the difference which white guy is president? Right. Doesn't make any difference. And a lot of people weren't crazy about Obama. Didn't think he was the radical change. They always they projected that on him. He would never said
I think Americans are comfortably uncomfortable. I think that this country could be radically better if we said we're going to do something radical and hold politicians' feet to the fire on policy. And we're not. We're just simply not doing it. And at some point, we're going to have to get off TV arguing for entertainment, and we're going to have to retreat to our living rooms, our after-church synagogues or mosque functions, and we're going to have real discussions where we disagree and agree, and we find out what are the 10 things that are best on a hyper-local level.
What could be realer than this discussion?
Yeah. If I could, let me tell you.
Don't be telling people to get off TV.
I want people to watch TV, but I want people to get with people who they don't look like.
Not TV, this TV.
Well, this TV. I like your show. I don't watch most of you guys' shows.
Well, the reason why this conversation isn't real is because they're just, like he said, we're just arguing for entertainment. We're just arguing for laughs and for them to say cue clapping. You know, they just say clap now, and everybody just start clapping. And this is not a real conversation. And then when they talk about, well, Biden hasn't been good for the black community and neither has Trump. Well, let's talk about the fact that he mentioned our current president is not good for the black community. But because Bill Maher don't want to make Biden look any worse than he has been looking. And although that's a lie, because I've seen many times where black people say that Trump has been far more effective and far more positive to the black community than Biden has been. But they're not gonna park there. They want to start talking about, oh, and we also heard that they also didn't think that Obama did enough for the black community. No. How about stopping there and having a good conversation about what was just now said? They won't do it because then it will make Biden look bad. It will make him look horrible. But then it will also make the host of this show look ignorant for supporting this current president, knowing that he still isn't doing what he said he was going to do. And I don't even know why people believed him in the first place. Like Killer Mike, he's there for entertainment. Bill Maher's there for entertainment. Everybody on that panel are there for entertainment. Nobody are really saying anything. Clearly, Killer Mike has one goal and one goal only, and that's reparations, like he said. That's it. Like, I'm going on a world tour to get y'all to put reparations at the top of the list. We need our money. Run our money. Run our money. Wasn't he with a rap group called Run the Money, or what's it called? Run our coins or something like that? Run the jewels. Run the jewels. That's what he's doing. He's going from show to show saying, run the jewels. Give us our money. How is giving anybody their money worked so far? Huh? I mean, let me tell you something. If reparations are given out, yeah, I'll send, listen, I want my piece. Give me my piece of the pie. Like, if y'all just going to be giving people money, but we're already underwater and nobody's thinking responsibly enough to try to get us over water. Nobody's trying to get us back on track so that we're doing the proper things to get where we're supposed to be. Everybody's just being greedy and selfish, and no one cares about the other person at all. We just want our own. And then here's the bigger part too. Here's the bigger part. The big part is Black people, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, all Americans, we are afforded the same opportunities. And sometimes white people are afforded more. And sometimes Black people are afforded more. When are Black people afforded more? Well, affirmative action, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. There are opportunities that people are missed out on and they don't get because we got to fill quotas. But we don't want to talk about those things. We feel like, yeah, it should be that way because they weren't going to hire us anyway. They weren't going to give me an opportunity, no way. We need to be real about what we need to be real about. But if we're going to continue to fake and point out things like reparations as being the key to fixing everything, that's bull, sugar, honey, iced tea. I don't even know why we still do it. It's the waste of time. We're wasting productive opportunities where we can be extremely productive and move us forward. But I don't like how disingenuous this show is, because Bill Maher had an opportunity to talk about what was mentioned, and he didn't. And that does people altogether, I don't give a damn what color you are, a disservice. And we're still talking about race. The only time we talk about race is the only time we bring up race is when somebody in the room is racist. Let's talk about people. Let's talk about what's best for the people. Not what's best for the black vote, what's best for the white vote, what's best for the Hispanic vote. Who gives a damn? Because we're all going to be affected by it equally. But no, we don't want to do that. We want to always focus on lack rather than focusing on abundance. We want to focus on being pessimistic than being optimistic. We don't want to be objective. We just want somebody to buy into our narrative and our side of the conversation. If our argument is not agreed upon, then we did not have a productive conversation in our opinion. And that's not the case. Just be objective, try to understand, put forth some real information from your side, and hopefully they'll do it on their side too. And you're doing it not just to be heard, but to have an understanding. I want you to understand me. I want to understand you, and I want to see if we can come to like an agreement. That's how conversations work. People don't want to be adult anymore. They just want to talk about the BS. And they spent I do realize that I reacted to this video because I was hoping to get something from it. I got nothing from it. I got absolutely nothing from it. So unfortunately, I don't expect for my people who check out this video to get a whole lot from it either, other than, I don't know, hopefully you get something from it, because they're back and forth. It was just pointless. It's just like, this is a comedy show. Like, substance, go to somebody else's show for substance. Don't go to Bill Maher's show for substance, because that's not the place for that. What you doing being all serious? We're supposed to be making jokes, and we're supposed to be clapping for the side that support anything that we claim to stand for. When we all know, if you've listened to Bill Maher, he don't stand for a damn thing, but just to make people smile and make people laugh and waste time. I like making people laugh. I like pig feet. I like hog maw. So at the end of the day, look, I'm here to listen and learn something, man, but I didn't learn a damn thing watching this. Even the Republican guy who supports Nikki Haley at the end of the panel, that guy, I don't even know his name, but even he had an opportunity. But the one thing, don't throw that Trump at me. He just ducking and dodging. Oh, don't say that I support Trump. I don't support Trump. I want to be our friend. I don't support no Trump. I don't support no Trump. If you support Trump, then support Trump and bring some facts as to why you do. If you don't, then you don't. If somebody judge you, who gives a damn? Your job is still secure, because clearly the only thing you got to do is be a damn clown to support whatever's going on in this show, and you're going to be invited back. Y'all let me know whatever y'all want me to know in the comments below. If you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. Y'all have been amazing per usual. Love y'all. Peace out.